here I have a new page for you. I will be creating my own stamped background using this fantastic new set of stamps from scrapbook.com. It's called Inline Alpha and Numbers, and when I saw it on the website, I knew I have to use it to stamp the words on the background. As the travel pictures are my favorite, so I decided to make a travel page, but I will be adding like a wonky wavy rows of words. So I'm just sketching like the line where the word should follow, and I'm planning where the pictures will be, so I know where not to stamp anything important, and I'm just trying to fill the whole space. I used one of the letters, letter A, to plan how high I need to make my rows. And I also gathered some words in the notebook that can go on this page. I have two pictures of us taken in Greece, Athens, Acropolis, and I will be adding words that matches this theme, so it won't be only like adventure, fun, vacation or something like this, but also maybe like I have a temple, ancient ruins, I have Athens, Greece, so very customized titles. I chose some pastel colors of mini ink cubes. Most of them are from Pinkfir Studio. I also have few Altenew inks. Just pick the colors you like, and I am stamping my first word. It will be adventure, and I'm using yellow ink. As the stamps are brand new and they are not primed yet, so it means that they do not hold ink well, I am using the rubber. This one is used only to prime the stamps, so it's clean, and I'm rubbing it on each stamp, on each letter, to make it look like a little bit milky. I don't know how to say it, so I'm removing this layer that was created in the manufacture process, and this way the ink holds really well to the stamp. And as you can see, I'm using letter by letter. I'm not stamping the whole words. It's because the shape is wonky, and plus I only have one letter of each, so I would need to stamp part of the word and the second part later with the same letter used again. So I just prefer to do it letter by letter, and it may appear that it will take you ages, but it didn't happen. It took me like half an hour, maybe a little bit more, but it was so fun. I like doing this kind of repetitive job, so it really went fast, at least for me. I didn't feel like it's a boring process. So my first word is almost finished. As you can see, I leave the blank space at the beginning, and I will be filling it with the dot. It's from another set of scrapbook.com. This one is called, let me take it, Smiles and Wishes, and I used the dot because I was going to add the faces on the emoji later, but after I finished the page I decided I will stay with dots only. So I'm just checking for word Greece, if it will be short enough to fit into this space. So you need to plan ahead a little bit, so you will not have only half of the word on the page, but it's totally doable. I didn't plan as much. I only think made gray in Greece, and I don't know, maybe one word. And I'm stamping upside down. It's because I would have to put my whole head into the frame of the video. You will see my head instead of my hands stamping, so I decided it will be easier this way. But of course you can stamp normal way, not upside down. Stamping upside down, you need to remember to rotate the letters. So of course you can stamp from the bottom, and then, well, still you will have to rotate the paper because otherwise you will have to stand over the paper. So I just prefer to do it upside down. Just remember to rotate the letters too. So the first row was done, and I did another few rows of camera, changing the colors of the inks. As you can see, I added wonderful, travel, fun, going places, and didn't have a space for S, so going place it is. World, vacation, Marvel, Acropolis, ancient ruins, joy. Now I'm adding words. Sand, no, sun, not sand. And I'm looking for a few other words. I think I didn't add Athens, which I'm going to add right now. And I'm just changing the color, leaving the space between words for the dot to add later. Um, yeah, so this is just the simple process of stamping, nothing very hard, or it's not technique that you really need to practice a lot. You can, of course, if you want to have a perfect stamping, use a stamping platform, but I didn't bother if it won't be perfect. I still can hide the letter behind an embellishment, so I will think about potential damages later. But most of the letters went really well, and you can also try to stamp another time. Just be careful. And now I'm adding the final word. It will be spelled from the back to the beginning because I had to be sure I will have space for each letter. So it's a temple, and I'm just crossing my fingers at this point that it will fit into the background. Of course, you don't have to make it wavy. You can make just a straight lines and go with the straight lines. Just plan them well with the ruler, so you will not have an empty strip on the bottom or on the top, or in the bottom or on the top of the layout. Just plan ahead a little bit. So the background is well dry. It was almost instantly dry. I have my two pictures, and now I can create a composition. I took this paper from the boho smooth cardstock part, and I'm adding this decorative edge that looks like torn from the notebook, and I was trying to do it in the air hanging, but I couldn't, so I needed to repeat the process with the paper on my table. And I will be adding the colors that kind of appear in the stamping, but also appear in the embellishments and collection I chose. I decided to use collection Safe Travels from Simple Stories. It's not a brand new collection, but I have almost everything from this line. I made one big album with it already. I will share with you the videos on the YouTube channel whenever I will have time to edit them. But I still have plenty of elements left because I have doubles, like double ephemera pack, double stickers, book, and so on. So I have plenty of elements to play with, and I'm building a layers behind my two pictures. Of course, I don't want to cover too much of my background because I took all this work to make it visible, but some of the areas will be covered, but luckily I plan a little bit, so most of the words are visible and won't be hidden behind the embellishments that I added. So I'm just building the layers and adding some tabs, tags, journaling spots, but I won't journal on the front of the layout. It is something I don't like to do, especially as I share my layouts online. I don't want people to be able to read my memories. It's like private to me. That's why I'm not adding any journaling on visible areas of the pages, unless I don't want to share the page later, which is usually not a case because I share most of my layouts. So I just prefer to put journaling on the back of the page or on the hidden tag or something like this. But usually on the back, and the most usually none. Yeah, I know that for many of you it can be like a totally no-no because you make pages to preserve memories. I make pages to just have fun because for any travel I make a big chunky album with all the pictures, with all the memories, so I don't need to write them down on the layout because I have a separate album for this particular event. And usually with my album, I do not share a lot of pictures online, or not the ones where the journaling is visible. That's why I like keeping it private. And I'm playing with all the embellishments from the collection. It's, as I said, Safe Travels. It was created kind of during COVID, when the COVID was fresh, 2020, and we didn't travel, or we had to travel with masks, with hand sanitizers and stuff like this, and many elements in this collection, like not maybe many, but some are hand sanitizers and stuff. So it's like a traveling post-COVID collection. I'm trying to fill the gaps between the rows where there is some spot for smaller embellishment. I am planning to add it. I added suitcases, I added the globe, I'm adding plane because this is one of the few trips we took by plane. My husband doesn't like to fly. Well, I'm not a big fan either, but he is worse than me. So we usually drive and not so much fly to our vacations. But this time, as Athens are just too far away from Warsaw, we took a plane, especially that it was a short trip, like 3 or 4 days trip, which is like a big perk of living in Europe. You have like the whole landscape, just few hours of the flight. If you go north, you will see like aurora polaris and snow. If you go south, you will have palms and beach and warm sea. So it's like maybe 3 hours of life on on the south, on the north, on the west. So everything is close, including Athens, and we visited them with a great pleasure because this is amazing city. I love Greece. I love Greek food. I like Greeks as they are such nice people, and I love ancient history. That's why Athens are like a heaven to me. And we had such a great weather. It was October, but it was still very, very warm. We took some sunbathing, sea bathing, swimming, and many trips, and it was amazing. While in Poland, it was already freezing cold. So we were happy to take this short trip to extend a summer a little bit. I'm almost done with my page. I'm adding some bits and pieces here and there. And as I have so many words in the background, I'm adding a very small title. It will be Acropolis because I couldn't figure out anything more fancy. And I'm using like an old alpha set. This is the Puffy alpha set from Pinkfresh Studio. I don't remember the name of the collection. It was like a fall collection, I think. But I really like those tiny alphabets. They are very handy and there are plenty of letters. They are colorful, so they match every theme. And now I'm just placing a smaller elements on the dots where I was going to stamp the smiley faces, but I thought that black color won't look good on the page. That's why I dropped the idea of adding the smiley faces on the dots, and it's just the dots. I'm finishing everything with enamel dots from the same collection. I have 2 sets, so I needed to reach for the new package for more sizes and colors. And as you can see, I didn't splash on this page. This is just something I usually do. So I skipped splashing because I just like this clean look. And to be honest, I just love how it turned out. I know it's maybe not the modest thing to say about your own page, but this one is the page I really like. Here are a few close-ups of the page. You can find the description under this video with all the links to the products I use, and I highly recommend you using this technique to create your own layout background. Depending on the theme, you can mix and match words. Thank you so much for staying with me. Here are some other videos you may like. You can also subscribe to my channel to never miss any new video. And see you soon on some other video, I hope sooner than later. Bye!